The latest Nintendo eShop sale has a nice selection of deals and a whole host of new low prices, which is what we like to see, and today I have 15 games for you all covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. My name's Alex, so this is SwitchCorner. If you do enjoy the video, consider subscribing, and then we also have 2 winners to announce for 2 $10 eShop gift cards later in the video, and 2 more to give away. To enter, drop a comment down below and those winners will be announced in next week's video. There is also then a problem on the eShop that I do want to discuss later in the video, so please watch out for that. Jumping right in then with Fequency, this is a horror-inspired narrative adventure game that feels like it takes influence from the 90s slasher world. Now, it was created originally for VR and you can feel that, honestly, some clunky controls, but I still had a blast with this one. The idea here is we are a radio host and we must try to save locals that are calling into the station who are being stalked by a serial killer. It's not a particularly scary game, but it is fun. I love the characters. Visuals have this great style, and then it's 20% off. That matches the low, and my review is in the pinned comments. If you are grabbing anything from this sale, then consider using cornershop.gg for your eShop credit. You'll get 5% off at checkout using code CORNER, and they are instant delivery via email. The Pathless is an action-adventure game that puts you in the role of a master archer alongside an eagle that sets you out to a mystical island to defeat a curse that is taking over. It's combat light outside of a few sequences, but the real pleasure here is the acrobatic maneuvers we can pull off. It's a game that's really about exploration and targeting these gems that will give a boost to your speed. It also gives me vibes of Zelda in some sequences with the environmental puzzles that are baked in. My review is below, but this is a new low price, 50% off. Trinity Trigger gets its first sale with 20% off. I generally enjoyed this one. It has its issues, honestly, and I didn't think the story quite delivered. It's kind of a generic save the world scenario, but if you want a fun action RPG that is clearly influenced by Secret of Mana, then this is definitely going to be worth a look. For the enemies were unique, the combat is solid, and overall the visual design, I did like it. The whole idea as well of pets that turn into almost weapons, definitely a unique feature. Not the longest of genre entries either, around 12 hours for the story, probably 15 with a few side quests thrown in, and you can check out my full review in the pinned comments. Shin, me and the Professor on Summer Vacation. I featured this on my recent 30 anime games on the Switch worth playing. I will link that below. You'll also find my review for the game there as well. Now this one, it's an adventure game where we go away to visit family friends. Things get weird, however, when dinosaurs appear in town, and there's also a mystery to solve surrounding a mysterious man that handed us a camera in the opening moments. Maybe he has something to do with this. I had fun with this one, incredibly simple, think exploration, meeting locals and completing these basic quests, but it's one of the most relaxing games I've played in a while. Love the cast as well then, and it's 30% off, a new low price. Might and Magic Clash of Heroes is a new release, so I quickly wanted to highlight the launch discount of 15% off. I loved this game, as you'll see in my review in the pinned comments. Now the story follows a world invaded by demons. They are trying to turn different clans against one another. Basically, they're doing all sorts of, I guess, deceiving actions. The gameplay is so unique though, a combination of minor exploration on a fixed set of tiles, combat that incorporates puzzle elements, think match-3 gameplay, and a host of RPG mechanics such as army setup. You should watch a full review first, as it is unique and it won't be for everyone, but I can't name another game quite like it. As mentioned earlier, there is an issue with the eShop that deserves our attention, and if you could spare me 60 seconds of your time to break it down for you, I would seriously appreciate it. So lately, the eShop has been plagued by asset flips, incomplete games, and just straight up lies, and one of the major offenders behind this practice is Midnight Works, a publisher here on the eShop. Now they've released games like Deep Space, Action Fire, Sci-Fi Game 2023, Shooter Strike Simulator, Alien Death Ultimate Games, and Fear or Evil and Nightmare Horror Scary Game Phobia 2023 Simulator Hunter Games, to name just a couple, and those are just ridiculous names, let's face it, just keywords to get ranked in the eShop. Their kind of modus operandi involves deceptive tactics, so fake screenshots and misleading descriptions promising non-existent features. So then, my good friend Luke, who co-runs PlayStation Corner transparently but also operates Switch Stars, he has been diligently exposing these unethical practices for some time now. Unfortunately, Midnight Works responded by issuing a copyright strike against him for his coverage. Now, fortunately, YouTube rejected their request, but I urge you to watch the video that initiated it all. In this video, Luke sheds light on the interconnectedness of these companies and how they obtain their assets. He also addressed the copyright strike situation in a separate video, and I've pinned both of these below. He deserves our support, he guards our wallets, and I think this is something the community can get behind, so please do go check it out. So back on with the video then. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater, and the more recent release Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, they are on sale with 25% off each, matching the low price, and they are actually remasters, but these are unique horror games that are built around the idea of leveraging a camera system to track and stop, I guess, what are mostly aggressive ghosts. Really creepy world at times, but I love the storytelling packed in each, and the characters are just fantastic. I also think that camera mechanic just incredibly creative as you use these different shot types and different film. So Maiden of Blackwater surrounds a mysterious mountain which has led to several deaths, while a Mask, it details a group of teens that went missing during a festival, and now years later mysterious events are occurring, including death. My review of Blackwater is down below. 12 Minutes then is for sure a controversial release with some of its contained themes, so you may want to look into that first, but I did review it here on the channel. I did enjoy it, and the idea here is we are stuck in a time loop. Our wife is murdered in the opening moments, and we must now relive these 12 minutes over and over and get to the bottom of what is occurring. It goes to some incredibly dark places, but I'll link my video down below, and it's 50% off, matching the low price. It also has an all-star voice acting cast. That's going to be James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe. Rune Factory was a 3D spin on the classic farming formula, and while it received mixed reactions, I generally enjoyed it. Rune Factory has always been a genre entry I've enjoyed more because it has some action and dungeon crawling alongside its relaxed farming elements. Here it's been heavily simplified compared to past entries, but working on this town and growing out a location is still a pleasure. Now I did cover this on the channel, full transparency, that was sponsored content, but I stand by my comments and it should give you a good idea of all of the different mechanics. In fact, it's near 20 minutes long if I do remember right. Tokyo RPG Factory has their trilogy of games on sale right now. That's going to be Am Setsuna, Sphear, as well as Oninaki. Now, Chrono Trigger heavily influenced both Setsuna and Sphear, as it features a spin on the active time battle system, while they went action RPG with Oninaki. None are incredible, honestly, but if you want a fun spin on almost think 90s RPG goodness, then I do think they are a decent selection to look at. They are nowhere near as good as their influences, honestly, but yeah, watch some reviews. I'm not going to go into real detail here, only because breaking down 3 RPGs is a video in itself, but Setsuna is probably my favourite. I think the story is probably the best as we set out to protect a woman that could be the saviour of this world. Setsuna and Oninaki then get 60% off, while Sphear that gets 70% off, and these, they match the low prices we've seen before. Our first winner of the week then is going to the Dirty Woodsman, who was surprised to not see Session on the list in last week's video. So I did review that game and I wasn't all of that keen. I thought performance was weak. It also had some visual issues that made an already difficult game even more so. I'll no doubt show it at some point in the future once the price drops low enough, but it would still come with a massive warning. Congrats on the win. Drop me an email for the code, and everyone else, there's a second winner coming up here shortly in the video. Neon White then is back, matching the low price, 30% off, and this was one of my favourite games of 2022. It's a first-person shooter that is built for speedrunners, and the idea here is it's combining a card deck system alongside that shooting. It's kind of tough to describe in a short time frame, but basically the idea is, let's say a card is a pistol, it might give you 3 shots, but you can also discard it and it will boost your jump. It's a game of balancing your card deck and figuring out how to navigate a location while killing everything. Incredibly clever, and it works so well. Also, the story is out there too. You are brought to heaven to kill demons that have invaded, and if you do it, you will be granted a spot in heaven, but you have some deadly competition. It even has this overworld map where you can talk to different characters and learn more, but that it is completely optional. It is well worth a look, and you can watch my full review in the pinned comments. SIFU then is for the beat 'em up fans out there. The gameplay here, third person, it's all about ultra difficult combat and mastering the control scheme, which comprises of defensive and offensive measures. Where it gets unique, you're out for revenge on someone that killed your family, but you do age 7 years if you do die, so it's basically a spin on a roguelike formula. Now as you get older, however, your strength and your abilities, they change, and that also impacts a skill tree packed into the game, so it makes for this really unique mechanic. I hope to see more from this world as it's incredible, and sure, look, it has a few frame rate issues at points, but it is still an absolute blast to play. It's 33% off, a new low price, and my review is in the pinned comments. Our second winner then is Sean, who highlighted how oddly satisfying Power Wash Simulator looks, and that is a great way to describe it. I didn't really expect to like it myself, and then I ended up sinking hours into it. Congrats Sean, drop me an email to claim your code, and everyone else, drop a comment down below for your chance in next Saturday's video. The Dark Pictures Anthology Man and Medan then is the final game of the video. I love this series, it is about time it came to the Switch, and here, the first one they've released, it's 25% off, a new low price. Now I think generally you can see the corners cut to make it work on the system, but it is still a great port. It looks and runs great. It's this cinematic horror experience where you are investigating a mysterious ship full of evil. Now the idea here is, and with all entries in fact, can you help everyone survive, or will you need to make sacrifices? There's even multiplayer options where you can vote on decisions made or even control a character each, and hopefully we do see the other entries hit the Switch sometime soon. Find my review for this entry in the pinned comments. And that is the video down. Will you be adding anything to the library? Let me know in the comments. With that then, a shout out to the patrons and the channel members who are going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, news, deals and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.